Hello and welcome to the Coutinhos. Back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of our tactical breakdown series, a show in which we look at the Arsenal in an analytical and statistical way, breaking down players, possible transfers, matches, everything that you could possibly wish for in a way in which we feel that no one else is really doing. Now, hoping that you are enjoying the series. If you are enjoying our tactical breakdown series, please do give it a like. Please subscribe if you're new around here with those notifications turned on. And of course, leave a comment in the comment section below. Are you enjoying the series? Let us know. We try and reply to absolutely every single one of those comments and at least read through all of them. There's only so much time in the world to do so much. But for today, you're tuning in to do, well, basically watch what is an intriguing episode because it's covering a player that I never thought as an Arsenal fan I would be covering in this sort of way, that would be linked to Arsenal in my wildest dreams, could be looking to be an Arsenal player in the future, and that is of course Philippe Coutinho. Now, Philippe Coutinho has been at Barcelona now for about 18 months or so. He joined in January of last year and obviously has gone on to do mixed things in Catalonia, and we're going to look at that. We're going to look at basically how he has transformed from his final season at Liverpool to these last two seasons at Barcelona, and if we are to see him sign for the Arsenal, what that could then mean for us going forwards. Now, the best way to do that, of course, is to first look at the brass tacks, look at the meat and gravy, which is of course goals and assists. So you can now see on your screen his statistics from the 2016-17 season, in which it was his final full season for Liverpool. You see there he got 31 Premier League appearances, 13 goals, 7 assists, adding to that in the EFL and the FA Cup as well. Now, of course, Philippe Coutinho was involved with a transfer from Inter Milan for about £10 million odd, and that was basically lauded as one of the transfers of the Premier League. Such a cheap signing, which went on to become one of the Premier League's highlight and clear running stars. It transformed Liverpool into a side that were regularly in the Champions League, even pushing for the title under Brendan Rodgers with Luis Suarez, Daniel Sturridge as well. And so they've then moved on from that. We've now seen them win the Champions League, of course, and improve with Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane. But Coutinho was sort of the crossing on point from that first title pushing era to the next one, which has been more recent over the last couple of years. Of course, he then moved on to Barcelona in the following year, and the statistics you can see from the first 6 months to the last 6 months of the season. You've got the La Liga statistics there and the Premier League statistics. He sort of carried on in that same vein, 7 goals, 6 assists in the 14 Premier League appearances, joined Barcelona and basically gave out a really good return in 8 goals and 5 assists from an advanced midfield position from 18 matches is a really good return. But the fact that he signed, of course, for £130 million is a hell of a lot of money, and you're looking at someone who's really going to take Barcelona to the next level in their midfield and need someone like Coutinho to come in. Obviously, we're losing Iniesta, and that player that was going to be someone who played centre midfield, attacking midfield, and also on the left wing, which are positions which Coutinho can occupy. Coutinho was looked as this guy that would fill that void left by the Spanish legend. He hasn't really gone on to do that, and you can see that from the statistics from the 2018-19 season. 34 games he's played and he's only got 5 goals and 2 assists. Decent record of the Champions League, 12 games, 3 goals, 3 assists, and 3 goals in the Copa del Rey as well from 7 fixtures, leading to 11 goals in total. But from 54 games, a record of 1 goal in every 5 matches from a player that has played a lot of his time on the left wing in a more advanced position is quite disappointing. Only 2,000 minutes were played in the league as well. Obviously, last year Barcelona signed Malcolm. They also signed Kevin Prince Boateng to add a little bit more bite to their midfield and their attacking lineup, which meant that Coutinho's minutes were lessened, not massively so, but they were lessened by those acquisitions. And then, of course, they signed this season Antoine Griezmann. Now, Antoine Griezmann has, of course, come in, and he's always going to be that player that's going to take on new roles. He's going to play every minute. They spent a hell of a lot of money on him as well, which, if you, depending on what source you read, could rise to the fee of 200 million if Atletico Madrid get their way. But of course, I don't really see that happening. But the fact that he is now being linked with a move away, Coutinho, because of the acquisition of Antoine Griezmann, and it could be an acquisition which helps Arsenal to no end. Imagine the fact Arsenal signing Coutinho would lift the spirits of so many fans. But let's have a look more at his position. We've talked about it previously, centre midfielder, edging out to that left-hand side, attacking midfield role as well. But if we look at the heat map, which you can see on your screen now, you can clearly see there on the 2016-17 season, Coutinho drifted over to that left-hand side, but definitely was more broad across that midfield three. He cut inside, he played in more of a central role as well. And it's good to see that you've also got a high high element of heat there in his own half. He's getting back and doing defensive work as well. If you then look at the 2018-19 season, he's obviously much more shackled onto that left. It's nowhere near as much in terms of drifting over to the centre. The red patch is very much on a left-hand side role rather than playing as a centre attacking midfield role. But what's also good is you can see that the actual intensity in the defensive half is even greater than that of what he was doing the 2016-17 season. That probably comes down to the fact playing more of a left-sided player needs to do the role of getting up and down the pitch as much as feasibly possible. If we then move on then to talking about some of his statistics are obviously really key to his game. We're going to start off with some of the attacking statistics. You can see them on your screen now. Looking at the final season at Liverpool, in terms of the shots that he was taking, he was trusted with a lot more of his offensive side of his game. That's why he was taking more shots. 4.1 against the 3 shots he was about taking in 2018-19. The difference though, that his accuracy has improved a lot higher, over 10% of an increase in his accuracy, and that's led to an XG in a season which he didn't score as many goals, being very, very close to that of what he managed in 2016-17, just 0.01 in terms of XG lower than the 2016-17 season. Even though he struggled to find the goals, it was expected that he would definitely be scoring more. His shot assists was creating a lot more chances for his teammates in 2016-17, 2.93 compared to the 1.26. But in terms of his dribbles actually improving as he moved to Barcelona. More time on the ball, more development going on, and whilst he dribbled slightly more in 2016-17 in each game, his success rate was much higher at 52% compared to the 45% that you can see in 2016-17. In terms of the offensive duels that he won, 13.73 compared to the 13.06 from the 2 years prior. Then you've got a 43% winning rate of those offensive duels in the last season that he played compared to the 39% in 16-17. Touches in the box have also increased at Barcelona, going up to 3.76 compared to the 2.93 at Liverpool. Offsides, he is offside a little bit more, but that's not something too much to worry about. Progressive runs though, he's making more runs to the team, trying to make more opportunities for his teammates, and then he's obviously then suffering more fouls in Barcelona. You know, they're a side that are going to receive a lot of fouls from opposition teams in La Liga. We then move on to his passing stats. Passing is obviously going to be really key for a player that's coming into Arsenal. Needs to have interplay with his teammates, find those through balls into Lacazette, Aubameyang, and now, of course, Nicolas Pepe. So let's look at those then. In terms of passing accuracy, that's gone up from 83.7% to 89.3% of an increase in passes, and about a similar rate of the amount of passes that are happening per game as well. Long passes not happening anywhere near as much, but still there's a 3% increase in the accuracy of those. So he's definitely developed there. Through passes, not doing as many of those, but again, we're seeing an increase in the accuracy that has gone up as well, which shows clear development. In terms of crossing, he's not done as much crossing because you don't really see a Barcelona side doing much crossing in these days. They're not the side to have a big lumpy forward to win those headers and get those headers into the back of the net, only during those corner situations, of which Coutinho can take them, and those crossing free kicks as well to good effect. And you've seen that with a 20% accuracy in his crosses, but it went down from 25% in 16-17. Assists have gone down, of course, we've already talked about that, and that's led to an XA decrease as well. In terms of second assists, we're seeing there that his second assist has definitely gone up to 0.18 from 0.07, which is an increase, of course, and that's good to see that he's actually leading on those passes which lead to further chances. Passes into final third are going, in terms of accuracy, again, we're seeing an increase from 78 to 82%, but it's half the amount of times that he's actually doing that, and that's because he's more in an advanced position more of the time, so we don't have to see him getting onto the counter-attacks of Barcelona. They're very heavy in terms of possession side, whereas at Liverpool he definitely thrived a lot in the system where he could be more an attacking player from counter-attacks. Passes into the box then, we've seen a good increase there, over 10%, 68.4% from 57.3%, and received passes is about a similar vein as well. He's seen as someone who can be trusted on the ball at Liverpool, and he was seen that at Barcelona as well. Very similar in terms of the amount of received passes that he's getting. Forward passes then, forward pass in terms of accuracy has gone up again, 82% to the 74%, and backward passes a slight increase as well. The difference though, that what you can see there is the ratio to forward to backward passes. There's more of a much more offensive style to his passing when he was at Liverpool in the Premier League compared to that of when he's at Barcelona. You've got a very similar forward to backward pass ratio, and that's quite simply because Barca like to hold on to the ball as much as possible, wait and be patient until they can find that killer ball into the box, into the final third, to release either Suarez or Messi Dembele, or next season, of course, not Coutinho, of course, Griezmann. And so that's obviously going to work to their benefit, and that's why you've seen a difference in the ratio. Hopefully, if he were to return to Arsenal, we'd see again a much more offensive, dominant style of passing that would see his ratio increase on the forward passing side compared to his backward passes. So that's sort of where we're at in terms of the statistics of the player. We're then going to have a take a look at some of his graphics and see what the style he actually might bring to the Gunners next season if he is to sign. Now you can see an example here playing for Brazil. Of course, Coutinho is a Brazilian international, did very well at the Copa America, of course, which Brazil won. He took the ball forward on plenty of occasion, driving at opposition teams with the ball. He's an excellent dribbler, something that Arsenal desperately need in their side, taking on players, getting as close to the box, either finding a shot or finding a key pass through to his teammates. We've also got opportunities here which you can see for Barcelona against Liverpool in the Champions League, where he's taking these opportunities to see 1-2s with Lionel Messi and play these instinctive passes through the gaps, through the defence to make chances, which obviously led to Barcelona winning that home match considerably, but unfortunately they couldn't hold on to that in the second leg, which was an amazing comeback by Liverpool, of course. But these interplays we're seeing happen, these triangles created with just one fellow teammate, we see happen all the time. Coutinho's great at finding these passes through the defence, and he can split defences and create chances for his teammates. Not just little intricate passing though, he can also find those long balls in behind, clip those balls over the defence to find an on-rushing fullback or winger, and this can lead to great chances being formed by wingers and obviously fullbacks getting in behind and stealing those chances from behind the defence. We've also got another opportunity here you can see where he's played slightly deeper in his own half, but he's spotted the runner of his fullback, playing that ball through the defence onto an on-rushing Jordi Alba, in which Jordi Alba, we know the pace that Jordi Alba possesses, getting in behind his opposition defence and finding those chances to play across. If we've got someone like Kolasinac or Tierney on that left back role, Coutinho's going to have a fantastic link with that person if he is, of course, playing in that left wing slot, to play those balls in behind, find those opposition defenders lacking and create chances for the team. And then, of course, it comes to obviously the shots that he takes. He's a left winger by trade or more of a central attacking midfielder, but definitely leaning to that left wing, more inverted, right-footed, and he likes to take those shots coming in from the left and finessing them past the keeper, be it a curling shot into the top right-hand corner or a shot that's going to be clipped, and you can see in this opportunity he only just clips the post in this chance here against the Spurs down the road. But you've got a chance here against in the Champions League where you can clearly see he's flicking that ball into the top right hand corner. A great opportunity there to score, and he's done it. And for me, that's something that Coutinho's going to bring to the team. He's going to bring that incisiveness, he's going to bring those shots from outside the box which are of great accuracy. You've also got the chance to see him take some free kicks. We know that he scored a couple against Arsenal when he was playing for Liverpool, and if we could add that sort of set piece skill to our team, I think it definitely adds an incisiveness, it definitely adds some dynamism, something that Arsenal have been lacking. Now, if we come full circle and then we talk about how likely this deal is, we talked about it in yesterday's episode, which you can still go check out, which was a reaction to the actual link to Coutinho in the first place. But if we actually think about this as a realistic deal, I gave it a 5 out of 10. I gave it a 5 out of 10 and not lower, because I think we've seen this summer that Raul Sanllehi, Vinai and Edu are capable of pulling off some deals which we really didn't expect. We saw that with Nicola Pepe. We saw them fight off competition from Tottenham Hotspur for William Saliba, and it shows some real ruthlessness in the transfer market. They spot deals, great opportunities, and they go out and they get them done. So that's why I gave this deal a slightly more higher likelihood rating than previously I would have done, because of the fantastic work we're seeing from the Spaniard and from the Brazilian Edu, of course, as well. So I still am very, very tentative about this deal happening, but I thought it was important to highlight the different key areas of which Coutinho could add to the side, and you've clearly seen this in this breakdown. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, of course, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you're new with those notifications turned on. Check out some of the previous videos. I know that you'll enjoy them, and of course we'll join you again later for what I'm sure will be a raw reaction. In fact, if you're watching this on Sunday afternoon instead of on playback, we'll actually be doing a season preview podcast with a few of the boys this evening, so please stay on to check that out. But again, we'll see you again very soon, and as always, up the Arsenal.